Welcome once again to Clinical Theurgy, episode 22. Getting really nervous because the chatty does not say the stream has started.
It's definitely on.
Okay. Yeah, that 4 is a keeper. And give me one more. Actually, I guess a few more, right? You got a few levels to fill in.
You said to only go up to level 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is you. I am not able to read either today, so. All right, Ivy, that's 1. That's 2. No, re-roll that. Okay, keep that. Oh! 1 more. All right, you got it. All right, this is some good hit points. One might almost say the best hit points. So, let's talk about all that happened, not just last time on Clinical Theurgy, but also what ramifications it had on other games.
None. Next question.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan.
So, last time on Clinical Theurgy, we were in the forest. Elizabeth was very low health. We had gone up against a boogeyman, and so not only were we really low health, not only was she really low health, but when we tried to heal her, she was taking sanity damage. So we decided to scrap the mission and to instead go back to town. Unfortunately, on our way back, we ran into a shambling mound, and Elizabeth was hesitant to jump into the battle because she was low health and couldn't be healed. Antaeus was chucking his bombs at the thing as best he could, and Gulron was trying to keep its attention. Brianna stepped in to try and do a little damage, and the mound was like, ooh, yummy halfling. And so Brianna got snatched and squeezed and killed. And so then basically, as a result of that combat, Brianna died. They carried her body back to town. There was no way to resurrect her because diamonds are very rare. So they instead talked with her spirit, and Goron asked if she would want to be brought back, and she agreed. And the other part of it was brought back at any cost, and she agreed with that as well. Brianna was a character who loved life, and she wanted to continue living. And also, when Gulron tried to make contact with Sashat, he basically got a back in 15 minutes type message, and spoke instead with someone called the Mistress. And basically, she encouraged Gulron to, go along and resurrect Brianna, And so Antaeus like looked at his book, and there was like basically this amulet that he was pulled out of the book, and he put it around Brianna's neck, and the body awoke, but it wasn't Brianna. It was instead someone named Niev. And she was very confused, and she was very upset because she wanted, she was, supposed to be with her sister at a university of Shashat named Mirashad. And she doesn't really quite understand what's happened. Well, I mean, she understands now, but she didn't then understand what had happened. Basically, she's also confused because she woke up in this halfling body, but she is an elf. And so Gulron was very upset, that this happened, that it wasn't Brianna that came back. As far as we know, there's no way for Brianna to ever come back. And so Gulron went out for some contemplation, and the mistress was like, ha ha ha, thanks, you did what I needed you to do, good boy. And Elizabeth was upset because she realized that she would never see her friend again. And so she agreed to be treated at the asylum in Serenity, and they took her into custody. Nobody knows that in the party yet. Basically, they were all kind of around Niev now. And so nobody actually knows that Elizabeth is gone. And yeah, so that was where we left off.
Yep. Niev is a bit awake, confused. Party is there. Elizabeth is loaded into the cart. And
do we see this, or when is this happening? Or
this happens immediately. It is very immediate. She's loaded into a sealed cart. No one can see anything into it. So
I just mean she went there when we were still in the church.
She went there while you were still in the temple. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, but Brianna is back. Well, Brianna is back. Yeah. So I think by right about now, the three of you would, or at least two of you would be noticing that Elizabeth is gone. And yeah, we'll pick it up from there.
And if you see where Elizabeth went, nobody should be alone in this time.
She said
should mourn
goodbye
together.
to me. She said goodbye to me. I told her that I hope that, she finds her friend again someday.
What do you mean she said bye to you? Where did she go?
I don't know. It seemed like that when she realized that I wasn't her friend and that I would never be her friend, then she just said she had something to take care of, and it was nice to meet me. I felt really bad for her. She seemed very sad.
Brianna would have known where she went, and Gulron will be angrily storm off. Or he's storming out, and then he looks back. Antaeus, let's go find our friend Elizabeth.
Wait, I'm coming too. I don't know.
I don't know who you are.
Well, I don't know anybody here, and you're the only people I know, so I'm sticking with you.
Yes, let's go. Yes.
This is utterly fascinating. I'll come along.
Sure.
What is it we're supposed to call you then?
My name is Niev.
You better behave yourself and respect that body you're in.
You better behave yourself and respect the body I'm in. I don't know.
What?
That sounded better in my head.
Oh, God. I miss Brianna already.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Brianna was known for respecting the body she was in.
She was very nice person. Let's go. Where would Antaeus, where do you think we should look for Elizabeth? Do you think she would have went back straight to the ministry? They probably know where she went.
Well, it's still like midnight. They probably would know where she went, I'm assuming. I mean, if anybody would, they would. If not, I would assume she would probably go back home. Well, not home, not to her parents. That doesn't sound like a thing she would do.
Well, let's see if anybody's in the ministry. If she was there first, they would know where she went. If no one's there, let's go check.
Or either them or the Knights, but I don't know anybody at the Knights.
I've had some dealings with them.
All right, so where to first?
The ministry.
Okay. The four of you will bump into Ninoslav as he is leaving. He looks very, very tired, is kind of like wiping his eyes as he starts to walk away, but as he notices you, he stops.
Have you seen Elizabeth?
We'll discuss those things in the morning. It's probably for the best that you all sleep right now. I see you brought back Brianna. That's good to see.
No, actually, my name's Niev.
It looks like we brought the body back, but not
I'm
the soul.
sorry, what?
I think we should discuss this in the morning, like you said. It's late.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Niev. Niev will reach out her hand, like, to shake Ninoslav's hand.
He's like just standing there flabbergasted.
It's probably best
Maybe.
if you sleep.
It might be some sort of side effect to being resurrected. I don't know.
Is he? Who is? I'm sorry. What are you to me? I don't really know.
Somebody debrief her. I must be too tired in hearing things. I've not been getting a lot of sleep lately already, and this isn't helping any.
Yes, we will meet you in the morning.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, that dude did follow us, right?
Yes.
And he actively chose not to speak up during this conversation.
Yes.
Interesting. That's probably for the best.
Well, I should be heading
What's
back
her
in.
name?
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. So, do I share a room with you guys, or like?
No, quiet. The adults are speaking. Antaeus,
Rude.
do you know your knowledge is you're more intelligent than me in these things? Do you know if she says she's not Brianna, are they going to commit her to Serenity? Or is this a plausible thing that your buddy can speak up on? Or
That is a very good question. Let me mull that over momentarily.
I wouldn't like to lose Brianna twice, even though
you
really
know
Brianna.
that they don't really have any, like, if she doesn't seem actually insane, like, then they have no reason to commit her. Like, she's not a harm to herself or anyone else.
Well, she doesn't appear to be a harm to herself or anyone else, so I don't think that they would take any kind of action.
Well, then let's just limit the crazy talk. What'd you say your name was? Niev?
Yes, my name
Just-
is Niev.
Just present yourself that's how you want to be referred to now. Don't say you're like a different person. Just keep it simple for now. I can't deal with this.
All right. I'm sorry I'm not your friend, but it's not my fault. Literally, I was asleep.
No. I think it's best not to worry our higher ups if we don't yet know what's going on.
Okay, I can keep a secret.
We wouldn't want anything to happen.
We don't
Until
fully
we-
understand the
yeah.
magic. Perhaps in time you will turn into Brianna or something. I don't know. Maybe there's still hope.
I mean, I would hope so because I have a sister. I have a life. I'm waiting on my friend to be resurrected. Like there was a lot that I still had left to do.
Wait, you're
Yes.
waiting on your friend to be resurrected?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
How can they afford the diamonds? Where is this place?
It's in Phoenicia.
The where?
Phoenicia. And
Um,
normally-
geographically speaking,
Yeah. What's your ranks in knowledge geographically?
fortunately, I'm a druid, and I was taking ranks in that, so...
All right. So
I have
let's get,
-1.
do both of you have ranks in the knowledge geographically?
Geographically?
Geographically.
Geometry.
Yes, knowledge geometry.
oh,
All right.
I mean, it's sort
According
of
to
the
the
geometry
Pythagorean
of the
theorem.
world.
So, Niev, a 21 in knowledge geography is enough to know the basic continents. You are on the continent where it should be impossible for you to be. There is no way for anything to move through the great force field that protects Sierra Savant from anything coming in or out. You're both on the same point of the sun. You're still at the same point of the sun, because you're both southern continents. But you are definitely somewhere that should be impossible for you to get to.
so
You're muted, Niev. We
Sorry.
speak with our words in this country.
All I can say is that when I was learning geography, I was told it was impossible to get to this place, Sierra Savant, and but we are both. Meershot isn't really that far away. We're both in the southern part of the world.
okay, that's good to know.
Let's limit the crazy talk. If it's impossible for you to be here, let's not mention where you're from. Then maybe.
Is that something that we would commonly know, that people don't usually come to and from Sierra Savant, or?
Yeah, I mean that's very common knowledge. It is impossible for anything to penetrate the force field.
Well, to be fair, it's impossible for gremlins to exist and the boogeyman to exist as well. So.
No. The boogeyman does exist.
That's
He's
true.
just a thing that people use as a scare story. That the boogeyman is going to come to get you.
Let's all get some sleep. I'm not
That is-
sure where Brianna and Tejas. You met with them to go to that club. Did you see where? Do you know where she lived? I don't really think I know.
That is a good question.
You both know where Brianna lived. She had
Okay.
brought you there
Because you've
before.
been there.
In fact,
yeah.
Antaeus, you tried to nose through her stuff.
We literally visited her house multiple
Oh.
occasions.
Oh, I was thinking he said Elizabeth. Sorry, I do know where Brianna lives. Yes, I could take you to where she stays.
Yep.
Stayed.
You
that
can
might be for. Sorry, go ahead.
you can take her back there. It's late. They're starting to push people out of the tavern. But Niev, you'll get a nod from the bartender. One of those hey. As he's trying to get people to leave.
I'll smile, just trying to act casual. I guess I don't really know what the nod means.
Okay.
So, I guess. So wait, are we back at the Niev's inn? I mean,
Yeah.
at Brianna's inn now.
Brianna's in.
So, all right. Well, thank you for leading me back here. I assume you're going to come get me in the morning because I don't
Yes.
really. Okay.
At least I will be here. I don't know, Guran, if you would be coming, but
I'll come. You're always late. We'll be here at, I don't know what time we usually meet up, 8 a.m. or something. I'll say the normal time we meet up.
Sure.
Okay.
Make sure you're ready.
I'll do
Yes.
my
Remember, don't go around blabbing about the impossible stuff that you're.
I can keep a secret.
also, if you receive a message in your sleep tonight, that's probably from me.
Mateus, maybe not fuck with her mind the day she just inhabited a new body.
No. I'm trying out a few new things that allow me to communicate with people in dreams.
Why don't
As
you
far
try
as-
my dreams then? Why do you
As
have
far
to
as
try
I-
hers?
As far as I know, it has an unlimited reach, and ideally, I'd like to be able to try and reach out. I can try to reach out to you as well, but I'd like to be able to try to reach out to Brianna and let her know that we're working on it or something to that effect. I still.
Oh, you mean you want to reach out to our Brianna? Not.
Yes, yes. Ideally, I don't know if that's how that would work, especially given the information or knowing the information about the travel through Sierra Savant and how that's impossible. But
Interesting. Well, if
and also
Niev here is
curious.
Out of
okay with it,
curiosity, would unicorns be able to travel to Sierra Savant?
No.
unicorns.
Okay.
Never even seen one.
What knowledge does that fall
I
under?
assume she was
Steve?
asking.
They
us,
cannot. It's not possible. Nothing can Nothing can get through the force field.
Okay. A unicorn
Isn't it-
teleported us back to the university earlier yesterday, and I just wondered maybe something went wrong with that. Maybe I don't know.
Your stories are so weird. I don't understand anything you say.
I don't think that they could, but I guess weirder things have happened today.
I had enough of this. I'm going to bed.
Oh, good night, Goran.
Let's meet here 8 a.m. sharp and we'll be meeting in the ministry to find out what happened to Elizabeth.
Certainly.
So this is actually, I think, important because one quick note for Niev, because of the buff that was given by Dan. Let me double check something here. Sorry. No, that would not have changed the result. Okay.
Oh yes. The reason that I mentioned about the dream thing is because I need to know the person, but I'm not sure how that works with people who have been body swapped. So I don't know if you'll receive her messages or she'll receive them, or neither of you will receive them. So, yes.
I'll let you know if it's me. I
Okay.
guess.
All right. Thank you very much. I will see you in the morning, I think, then.
All right. Let me look up this spell that you're going to use tonight.
Yes. I will also use Minor Dream to communicate with Gulran because he asked me to.
Well, I said if that was instead, like, if you were going to do me
I know.
instead of her, but whatever.
I know, out of character.
Just tell him he's a dirty dwarf.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I suppose. When a spell fails, you're able to tell the spell fails, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This spell fails.
Interesting. I'll try the minor one with Gulran to see if that works as well, or if that doesn't work as well.
What is the minor one?
Minor Dream, sorry.
Do you? Because
I have it on
okay.
the
You
sheet. I had the
memorized.
actual spell for
Yeah.
that one.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me double check the difference here.
Whoops. Did I not?
I've got it.
Yeah, no, I forgot to mark that down for my in town ones because I did my first level ones, but
Okay. In this case, the spell succeeds, and Gulran in his dream will get the message that you send.
it's basically just a message of me saying, "Hi, Gulran, this is Antaeus."
Get the hell out of here. I don't know if I can. Can I react to his message or no?
No.
How it works. Oh, okay.
It's a
it's only up
one-way.
to 20.
Yeah.
20 words. Yeah.
It's a trade-off for it being any distance spell.
Yeah.
A literally any distance spell.
Is there any flavor for how he appears in my dream, or do I just hear his voice? Or
I guess hold on. Let's see.
Because if he materializes before me, I'll swat at him with my warhammer. But if it's just his voice, I'll just whatever.
I mean, you can probably swat at it, as it is both it is defenseless both physically and mentally.
All All right, I imagine I'd be having some sort of dream about some maybe trivial interaction I had with Brianna before, and then it's like abruptly interrupted by like Antaeus just like appearing before me and saying like, "Hi, it's Antaeus" or whatever he said, and I was like, "God damn it!" And
Hi,
just, like,
Gulran. It's Antaeus. Leave a message after the.
Can I interest you in some harlot sweets?
Yeah, you swat away the vision of him standing there by a gate. All right. Morning comes. The two of you meet back up with Brianna at the inn, and can have some breakfast if you'd like. I'm sorry, with Niev. Have some breakfast.
Are you still Niev? I say as I walk up, looking at you.
Of course. Well, I mean, I guess I would have said who else, but
Actually, there's a really interesting question I have. What do you do when you open your drawer and there's just a bunch of outfits Trent would have picked out for you?
I look horrified. I'm like, what is this? What kind of... And the other thing is, the outfit that I was resurrected in, it's like this tight, like, leather number, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, why did she like tight clothing? I like loose, free clothing that I can move in. And like when I was going to bed, like there was braids in my hair, and I'm just like, that gives me a headache. Why would you even do that? Like, my hair needs to be free. So I'm probably wearing like the most loose-fitting thing I can find, which is not very, and I'm not happy about it, but my hair is definitely like
unwound and down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, Niev was like a vegetarian, so she's definitely like looking for vegetarian style food, nuts, berries, that kind of thing.
All right, so yeah, Niev will also be looking different as she comes down. Looking more like casual Brianna as opposed to like ready to go Brianna.
Thought I said to be ready to go.
I am ready. Do they have smoothies here?
I don't know.
I believe so. I'm not sure about here specifically, but
They do not have smoothies here at this inn.
So I go up to the... I'm assuming it's like the bartender, but he's really like also like where
He's
you
the
order
innkeeper
food.
and the bartender, and yeah, he basically does a lot of everything. There's some wait staff that move about the area as well, picking up orders.
So I would go up to him and just be like, yeah, can I get a smoothie, a berry smoothie?
What is wrong with you? I don't have any what almond milk? Almond milk? Who the hell milks an almond?
I mean, it's really good.
You can't milk an almond.
I mean, all you have to do is you soak the almonds in water, and she it starts explaining how to make almond milk.
That's nonsense. That's not milking. Do you know what milking is?
Yes, of
It's
course.
when you grab something by the teat.
Yeah, I'm a druid. I'm well aware of how you milk mammals.
You can't milk an almond. It doesn't have teats. Just because you make it one doesn't give it teats.
So, do you have oatmeal?
Sure.
Okay, I'll take some oatmeal, please.
What's wrong with you, Brianna? Are you okay today?
I'm peachy, thanks. I'm just turning over a new leaf.
I'll have it dropped off at your table.
Thank you.
All right. You'll have a bowl of oatmeal dropped off at your table.
I will eat it, and I will also thank the bartender / order person.
Yep.
Tell them it was good.
What do the three of you want to discuss over breakfast?
I'm assuming that I'm just gonna ask her, but I'm assuming that you did not receive my message. You have no?
Nope, no messages.
That's what I thought. I felt something. But Goran, it felt like you did.
Yeah, it's that annoying thing. Don't do that again.
Oh, I thought you wanted me. Okay.
I
Well,
said
that-
if it was instead of her, listen up next time.
Oh, my apologies. But that does actually prove to some degree something. That, I mean, if my theory is correct, I'd have to learn more about you, Niev, but it seems like it's trying to send it to her soul, her mind, whatever you religious types call it.
Okay.
Or
Well-
it just didn't work and I did it wrong. One of the two. I'm not sure.
I mean, there's so much gray area here. I've never heard of any such thing happening. So, I mean, and of course, I'm like 120. Like, I would have heard of it, I think, by now.
You would think so. So would I have about a week ago. It's been very weird times lately. Do you happen to have a title or a surname or something? Something that I can better identify you as if I were to try to reach you in your dream tonight? That sounds weird, doesn't it?
It's okay. My name is Niev Soleil.
Okay. Interesting. I'll write that down.
Just a
Perfect.
reminder, let's not freak out our higher ups with any impossible talk.
Also, just she's like watching Antaeus. So I write it down. It's Niamh.
Naima?
No, Niev. That's pronounced Niev.
But what language is that? I don't think I've ever heard of that language.
It's quite common among the druids.
Well, let's see
Wait,
about that.
wait.
Wah!
Does that mean you can't play the instruments Brianna had?
I have never played an instrument in my life, and the
Oh,
last time
God.
I sang, Constog told me to never do that again.
Oh, bloody hell.
She was your sister, yes? Is your sister?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think my singing was bad, but then Akalia just started like howling, and apparently it hurt her ears, and Constog was just like, please don't do that. No.
That's the wolf, correct?
Yes, Akalia was my wolf. Oh.
Okay.
So, are they gonna? I look to Antaeus. Are they gonna need her to get another license now that she's not a singer? I'm not familiar with druids in practice. Or do they even need a license to operate in the town?
That's a good question.
You know, all spellcasters need a license to operate.
What
Well,
kind of place requires a license? Like,
We'll probably have to
born a
mention this
druid.
then.
it's a huge tradition. What the?
Just out of curiosity, the druids, do they actually have their own language? I don't think I've ever come across any personally. I've
We
heard
do,
rumors
but
of
it
this.
is forbidden for me to teach it to you.
All right.
All right. Well,
That's
this is the story we're
interesting.
gonna have to go with. It looks like Brianna and her newfound experiences experimenting with becoming a druid or something. So you'll have to inquire about that.
Told the
Yes.
guy at the bar I was turning over a new leaf. I thought that was pretty clever.
Wait, what?
Ta-dunch.
I don't. Why would? What does turning over a new leaf do?
Because I'm a druid. Nature.
Druids of the leaves.
Is there something better about the other side of a leaf? I don't understand. What is this?
Yes, doesn't make any sense. Must be some of the jokes from your country. We don't joke like that here.
Okay.
But did
Okay,
you understand
boomer.
what I? What did you call me? I don't know what that means, but it sounds offensive.
Waiting to be
Anyways,
Karen.
did you understand what I said? You have to let them know that you are thinking about enhancing yourself with druidic practices and see what he says if your bardic license carries over to this or if you need something else. I don't want any illegal practicing on this team.
I guess. All right. Well.
Can you handle that, or should Antea speak for you or myself?
So what you're asking me to do, Goron, is you're
Mhm.
asking me to withhold the truth.
I'm not
I don't
asking you
know
to
why,
withhold the
but
truth.
this
I'm
body
asking you,
gets a little bit angry at the thought of that.
I don't
Oh,
want you to
doesn't.
withhold the truth. I want you to phrase it in a way that he doesn't look like you crazy.
Okay.
Doesn't
shades
do
of
anyone
grey.
good to if he's just
Well-
caught up with questions that we can't answer.
I mean,
I mean, if you want to tell him the whole truth, go be my guest, but I don't think he'll believe you.
Yeah, they might end up sending you to the asylum.
I don't want to end up there. I don't know what an asylum is, but any place that they tell you that they're going to send you is not a good thing.
All right, are we all ready to go meet Ninoslav?
I suppose.
Right. The three of you make your way back to the ministry office. And there you can find that Ninoslav has had people waiting for you, keeping an eye on the door. And they will gather you up and ask you to follow them to meet in the regular place with Ninoslav. Seated at the table as you step in is Ninoslav. And why don't we have Ivy introduce herself visually? Tell us about Ivy.
So she's kind of on the moderate height side, 5'4", so not very tall. Some people probably consider that short, but I don't consider it short, so whatever. Decently muscular-esque looking, probably sort of reminiscent of how Elizabeth looked build-wise a little bit, but I think a little shorter than her. Short black hair. That's like off to the side, and yeah, probably has like a, I don't know, like fairly perky expression.
Hello, everyone. This has been what you told me last night. This should be a very interesting conversation. Can I have the three of you take a seat?
Sure.
We'll sit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's begin before I get to the other traumatic news. Well, which piece of trauma do we want to deal with first? Do you want the one about your missing friend or the one about your different friend?
I don't think I can take another heartache. What are you getting at, Ninoslav?
Why don't you talk about the different friend? I'd rather get over that tragedy first.
Yes. So you believe word was you're not Hugh anymore, yes?
Correct.
Do either of the two of you have any reason to believe that this is psychological? That she has created a new persona for herself, or that this is some sort of magic?
Well, sorry,
we're
Taylor, so go
still.
first.
Sorry. We are still looking into the situation, as we're not entirely certain at the moment.
What do you do, young lady, your name being...
My name's Niev Soleil. I am a druid.
Can you prove your druidic nature?
Of course. Let's see. What spell would be... Are there plants in this room?
There are no plants in the room.
Ah, darn it. Okay. Let's see. I will cast Bark Skin on myself.
Oh, that confirms that. Oh, we're gonna have to have your license changed. And we're going to have to... this is so complicated. Your party members can't just change their skills. They can't just... And I've specifically got something with regard to this that I can't believe this is happening. Both things are out of whack from what he said, but they are as he said. I am going to need, once I finish debriefing you, I'm going to need the four of you to meet with Reginald Harvest.
Ah, yes. It's good to see that he's okay.
Reginald. You're getting confused.
Oh, yes. Yes, my apologies.
Reginald Harvest is the head of the Knights.
The one, yes, the one that was at the coronation, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Yes, my apologies.
Oh, who was coronated? Was like a princess?
Well, that's the other difficult part of our current day's conversation. It is at least it's less people that are going to be impacted by this news. But Elizabeth has chosen to seek time in Serenity.
What?
Oh, that's nice. That sounds like a very
Oh.
peaceful place.
She has willingly checked herself into the asylum.
Oh, bloody hell.
I hope she gets some help. She seemed very sad when I talked to her yesterday.
Elizabeth made the decision that is hopefully best for her. They are doing a lot of experimental treatments up there, and hopefully they will help her deal with her visions.
Will we be able to stay in contact with her?
That will be rather difficult. Once in the asylum, it is recommended no one be in contact with those in the asylum until they've completed their tour.
Has anyone come out of the asylum repaired from their ailments?
There have been successful results, yes.
And would we be informed when she returns? Or is
I'm sure she will make it known to you.
Did she leave any note for us? Anything for us?
No.
Interesting.
So, as it stands then, I have found a suitable replacement on short order. She is known by the name of Ivy Phelps. This is the person whom you see sitting here. I apologize that she's a bit distracted at the moment. Ivy, please, could you look up from those papers for a moment? These are Antaeus, Gulran, and Niev, you said your name is now?
Yes, Niev.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Ivy.
Nice to meet you too.
I already miss Elizabeth. This one's too cheery.
Rude.
Well, I'm not aware of how well you know this, but this has an impact on me as well in a number of ways. First and foremost, Elizabeth was one of our main links to the Knights, and this gives us a weak point. Maha has accused me of persuading Elizabeth to go into the asylum, and so we are under added scrutiny. However,
I'm seeing if he seems any remorse for that statement, or if he feels like, if he gives anything away when he says that, like he does feel responsible or something.
Hard to say from a 14. Something about his face looks very exhausted, so it's a little hard to read kind of what's going on. It's important for me at this point, based on what has happened so far. The book, the dragon, as that is being called, I'm not exactly sure where this word has come from, but it has suddenly surfaced.
Would I know about what dragons?
Dragons don't exist.
Okay,
You've never heard of a dragon. Dragons don't exist. There's no such thing as dragons.
Okay. I wasn't sure if, like, Mirashad, if people would know about it.
Nope. There is no dragon that in any historical record has ever existed before, in any normal historical record.
Yeah, the only way you would know about a dragon is if you have a high rank in geography.
Nope.
Nope. Oh, she doesn't know about the cove?
Nope.
Oh.
She's not from the right place. I guess theoretically, yes. A super high one would at least give the name some meaning, but
yeah, but that's about it. But anyways, I digress.
It is important now with the oddity of a party member being different than who they were before, it is in line with something he once confided in me about. And it may also be the key to making sure that Templar Johansson does not get his way. I'm sorry, not Templar. He was a... Hold on one sec. Where are my notes here? Why are my notes stretched out more than they should be? Go. Oh, my notes are all... Oh, I know what's happening. Okay. Can't use the all notes thing. I always forget about that. Sorry, the Duke of Defense. Mr. Johansson. If we can get Reginald on board with our position with regard to the woods, we can perhaps hold off the assault there and potentially find a better solution. And I can not only keep your jobs, but mine as well. Maha seems very, very upset at Elizabeth's decision.
Should we speak to her? Maybe
Maha
before.
is not willing to speak to anyone at this point.
If I may ask, who is Maha?
She is the person who trained the group that once would sit here at the table before me. She trained Gulran. Antaeus came in a little later when replacing. So I guess the only one of you that is the original one is you, Gulran.
That's why I was hoping maybe she would hear me at least, but maybe not.
She's not accepting any replies to... She's not offering any replies to anyone that's tried to reach out to her.
All right.
So all I have left is this one avenue. Present what you have discovered to Reginald. It is my hope that he will hear your story and he will make a decision before the Duke takes action.
So I should tell him that I'm not Brianna? I'm just...
You should express everything you know to him.
Okay.
This fits the story well, but not exactly. The one who was sharing a body is supposed to be a man. There were supposed to be 5 of you. There are only 4. One of them was supposed to be named Harvest as well. But the book was mentioned, and someone carrying the book who was the only one who could activate it. But word was he was supposed to be a savant of some sort.
Harvest was supposed to be a
No.
mystic person?
There were not one person. The person that could use the book was supposed to be some sort of savant.
Ah,
The Harvest person is supposed to be the one of 2 minds.
okay.
But we do have somebody who is now of a different mind, and someone who can activate a book that no one else can. I'd say if anything here is Para O'Connell, this is it.
Well, where's this Reginald person? We should go talk to him.
Head over to... You can head over to the barracks. In the barracks, there is a... So, something about the barracks that is cut off from the map, but to the far end of the barracks, there is a tower that exists. That goes up. The same thing in the Ministry. The Ministry has a tower on one side. The barracks has a tower on the other side. They sort of act as mirrors to each other. Reginald exists at the top of the tower. You can be guided there. I've made proper appointments for you to speak with him.
And we're supposed to trust him with this information implicitly, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Reginald is quite possibly one of the most mad people I know. And yet he is also the most well put together person I know. His ramblings about these people from another place that come here are very disconcerting. But everything else he does is methodical, calculated, and right on cue. If someone's mad but they're accurate, you don't really mess with that.
Now, you said people that come from another place. This is a thing that has happened before?
It is something that he claims is prophesied to happen.
Interesting.
Maybe he'll know how to get me back.
Are the harvests all prophets of sorts?
It is what they claim. It's claimed that each one of them has some piece of the future.
Interesting.
Anyway, you have a very short time before you need to get there. Speak with him, let him know these things, and let him know the urgency of what goes on in the woods. Let him know that what the Duke plans to do could set back our ability to permanently cure this problem. Sending the Duke and his men in to reclaim Baru will not solve the problem. You must make it clear that we must get to the root of the problem. And
no pun intended.
Yes. And taking an aggressive action might only result in greater aggression from the Fae back at us.
Agreed.
I agree with this as well.
Good luck.
Fae? Oh,
yes,
okay.
Fae. If we can continue the mission, you'll be debriefed on it at such time it's important.
Oh, okay. We should hurry then, guys.
Yes.
Right.
Indeed.
The four of you can head over to the barracks. Is there anything you want to discuss on your way? It's a very short trip, but...
We should probably introduce ourselves a little more formally, I suppose. You said your name was Ivy, correct?
Yes, Ivy.
Ah, yes. Yes, I'm Mateus, that, you know, the Theurgy.
What is it that you exactly do, Ivy?
Thank you, Gulron.
What do you mean by do?
Do you heal? Do you stand in the back? We don't need any more backliners. I hope Neoslav got us something more useful.
Usually up in the face with mobs, if that's what you're concerned with, yes. I wield the blade rather well, but I also cast magic at the same time.
Spells and blade combat? Highly irregular. You probably fail all your spells.
Rude. Why are you so rude?
And Teus, you would recognize her to be a magus with that description.
Ah, you're a magus then, yes?
Yes.
Oh, a magus like Nikolai.
Who's Nikolai?
Nikolai is my friend. He unfortunately died, but he was supposed to be resurrected tomorrow. Well, I guess today. I don't know anymore.
Oh my
Interesting. You should write these notes down. I'd be very curious as to go over these at some point. Fascinating. Anyways, yes.
So, you made it sound like we didn't have very much time to make this meeting.
Well, you're walking.
We're talking
there.
as we're walking, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just stop and we just start talking.
Okay, I was just like,
We're walking
Yeah.
as we talk.
Do you know about Faye? Is that what I was able to tell? Like,
That was directed at Niev.
oh yeah, sorry. probably didn't say it loud enough.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was like, what? Oh.
It
I-
sounded like you do.
Well, I mean, I used to talk with the Fae a lot in my old home.
Excuse me. You talked to them?
They were kind of my friends. Before my sister came along, I was a little lonely, and I would make friends out of the Fae, and they
Well-
taught me how to cast things.
You should be careful talking to these ones. I ventured into one's mind a few times and it didn't end well.
Oh. Well, I will be careful. I know that sometimes they can be tricky.
And Teus, the information I told you about what I saw that day, Morin, I keep saying his name wrong. Moirin has asked me to keep those details private for now. He's not sure who we can trust with it. So we can tell them all we found out aside from that bit. We should.
Fair enough. This Moiran, you trust him, yes?
He's raised me. If I can't trust him, I can't trust anyone.
Fair enough. I'll trust your judgment on this then.
He knows more than I.
About that point, you'll probably be in the barracks and being escorted to Reginald's office. It is a very quick trip. The tower has a bit of a localized sort of elevation system that moves you rapidly up to the top floor. There is sort of a waiting area that you won't be waiting in very long, as the door will open before you. Reginald's office is quite large. There are many, many shelves of books along both walls, a large window that opens out into over the expanse of the city. And Reginald sits at a very large desk, and he rises as the door opens to the four of you. Everyone, please come in. Take a seat.
My condolences for your relative.
He'll be fine, one way or another.
I hope so.
Either he's in the beyond and everything is well, or he made it out alive and all is well.
Who's
Yeah.
his relative?
Was a lad we met briefly.
Oh. Well, okay. I'm sorry about him, I guess.
It is a part of what we do. A part of what we do is making sure that each step is taken in the right direction. Now, I have it under good authority that one of you is now different than they were before. A voice is in your head that wasn't there previously.
A voice? I mean, how do
That's
I
another
put
good
this? Yeah, how do I put this? I went to sleep, and I was in my bed at Marashad in Phoenicia.
Is it sorry? Is it just him in the room though, or
Yes,
is there?
it is just him in
Okay.
the room.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that nobody else was spying on us.
I went to sleep in my bed in Marashad. I was in Phoenicia, and I woke up in a church, a temple of Sashat here in Sierra Savant. And I was an elf before. Now I'm a halfling. I don't, my mind is my own. I don't hear voices. I just hear myself as always, but in a different body.
Well, the prophecy is open to a number of interpretations. And one of you has a book that only you can activate.
That would be me. Yes.
A book that was found here in a place that didn't belong. I suppose you wouldn't know that if that were true or not.
No, I do not know about its origins. I just know that that it was given to us in Carre 4.
But none of you are named Harvest.
No.
The fifth is missing.
The fifth, you say? The Beyond. These things I'm not familiar entirely with.
There is supposed to be a fifth. You are supposed to come as 5 people, 4 and a harvest, from a land far away. This is the closest he's found so far. It's not close at all.
A
The
land far away.
Yes. The prophecy is vague, deliberately so, as these things tend to be.
Of course.
My brother used to talk about how everything was wrong before, how everything was off. In his visions, he would see a man who he claimed was correcting things. A man who scoured the world, making sure everything turned out the way it was supposed to be. But he said that that man couldn't come here, and so nothing was right. And I'm worried.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I apologize. Do you know who this man is or what he looks like?
No.
Okay.
Again,
Because-
the prophecy is vague.
Because I touched the book and attempted to investigate it using psychometry, and I saw a face, but I'm not sure who that is.
Perhaps it is the original owner of the book. But that still doesn't explain why you would be able to open it if that were the case.
Oh yes, that was before I. Well, no, actually, it was around the same time. Anyways,
Does your prophecy talk about how to get me home?
The prophecies end with the harvest killing the harvest that threatens the country. There is a harvest that is supposed to work within some sort of force that will attempt to invade this country.
an external force.
Yes. These 2 harvests will meet, and they will begin a great change. The battle they have, the powers they will have gained, will both cause great issues for this world. But something is wrong. The prophecies don't feel right. Something is off. One of them was supposed to have died and been reborn, and instead it seems that it happened to someone else. Perhaps these prophecies are wrong. They've been right about everything else, but perhaps they're wrong here. Perhaps it's not time. Maybe there's some greater amount of time that must pass. I'm not sure. But what I do know is answers can't be found if we don't search for them. And so, if even with even these threads of possibility, I want to stitch them together, and I want to see if they can put a new coat on this. The 4 of you, I've heard, are presently dealing with a situation. Is this correct? Or at least the former 4 of you. Now 2 of you and 2 others.
Situation is a mild way of putting it. Yes.
The issue of what invades us from the woods to the south?
Yes. What do you know about the things that invade us to the south?
Only
From
what
the
I've been
south.
told. They are flammable, and they can be repelled, but each attempt to burn them away only seems to make them come back, with efforts redoubled.
Yes. And uh, where do you fall in line with the current plan of action?
The Duke has laid out a very good process to get the cause of this problem and bring him back here. Fetch the one
Interesting.
known as Baru by any means necessary. Cut half the forest down if he has to. And bring him back.
Plan, you must realize, is very short-sighted.
Niev looks scandalized when they start talking about cutting half the forest down.
I am not a fan, personally, of cutting down the forest, but the forest is literally at war with us. Because a man has gone out there and poisoned it against us.
The man wouldn't happen to be that boogeyman we ran into, would it?
No, Baru. One of yours.
Yes. That was my not so clever way of trying to work that into the conversation, I suppose.
The word is your companion Baru was driven mad by an associate of yours, and in being driven mad, went out to the woods to escape from all of you.
I suppose that's a matter of perspective.
It's the only story they have to go off of.
He was driven mad by the Fae, is my understanding of it.
His madness was powerful enough to poison a powerful wizard.
Well, my understanding was that he believed to have been married to this Fae and was very resistant.
There
He's
is
very
no
resistant.
sign of any Fae. No one has brought back any evidence of any real Faean problem. The only one we've seen so far is Baru, and he was failed to be properly brought in, so we couldn't even hold him. Then we sent him back, and the efforts of the woods became worse. You have to look at this from my perspective and the perspective of everyone else. Well, I trust Ninoslav. This is very sloppy of him because I have nothing to go on.
Yes, I understand. I didn't mean to offend or anything of that nature. I was just letting you know my understanding of it.
I'm not offended, I just must be stern on these things. Some people do not quite understand the way things work, and think that you can simply brush things away, or with a simple excuse without proof, people are going to believe you because you're ministry people or you're knights. That is not how things work. We work on a system of order and understanding. Now, I have heard that your companion, the one who may have poisoned Brianna, has taken the right course of action and checked herself into serenity.
Wait, what?
Is this true?
Poison Brianna. She did.
I'm
no
sorry.
such thing.
Did I say poison Brianna?
Yeah.
No, I poisoned Baru.
Elizabeth?
Your friend, I
Oh.
thought he said.
Oh, yeah.
She also didn't do that. None of us poisoned Baru. He was taken with a fey creature. It should be in all of our report.
Yes, this fey creature that he was not taken with a fey creature. There is no fey creature. You brought no evidence of such.
Unfortunately,
Again, sir, the facts are what we talk about here, not what you wrote down on a piece of paper. Your paper is not fact. If you have no substantive evidence, you have nothing, and we can't process anything accordingly. We have to talk as what people are seeing, not as what you saw, until you can prove otherwise.
well, unfortunately, our lives were at risk, and we weren't going to sacrifice one of our own to bring you back your proof you wanted.
I understand that, but we have to talk in the narrative as it stands.
I agree.
If you wish to disprove this narrative, you should perhaps give me ways that you could potentially disprove this narrative. It is more useful than trying to correct the things I am saying now until you have such evidence. Do you understand?
Yes, everything you're saying is fine. We
Thank you.
just disagree on the solution.
I have said the only solution that has been brought before me. Then you proceeded to argue me that Brianna did not poison your friend, but just simply argue, not provide me proof, and then argue later. Let's work in solutions first. Let's correct the history second.
I believe Ninoslav sent us over here to convey to you that we do have another option of a solution. He would like us to return to the forest and find the root of the problem, whether it be Baru or something else, and make sure that we are extinguishing the root of the issue so that it can't double back on the city again. So say they go in and bring Baru in, but he is not actually the root of the issue. Wouldn't the forest just redouble its efforts again?
Perhaps. This is an unknown that we have. The Duke may do well enough that it sets the forest back for a long time. Maybe we don't see anything from the forest for months or years.
Possibly. Or
That's a definite negatory, sir.
or send
The
our
forest
team
we've
in.
seen would respond immediately. We've been in there for multiple days. It won't sit back if that's the plan you decide to go on. And our new friend here, she's very knowledgeable in Feyan matters, and I'm pretty sure she could tell you firsthand that the nature will not take kindly to this action.
You're knowledgeable about Fae, so where you come from, Fae are positive things?
I suppose I lived in a group of druids. We lived in the forest, and I made a few friends that were Fae. They taught me how to cast certain things with them.
They are not merely creatures of trickery and mind control.
No, not at all. They're very real. I'm from Phoenicia. I don't know if I know that sometimes the Fae can be mischievous, and sometimes they do things to their own end. But I mean, the ones that I met, they were sort of my friends. They brought me out of my shell. They allowed me to have more confidence about myself.
Very well. Now, how do you propose this happens? How do you propose you find the solution? You're back here again, having lost what seems now to be 2 of your original 4.
Well, we didn't have a Feyan expert before, which it seems like the gods have blessed us with, and this one over here, I'm told, is able to fight with blade and spell. It's a rare thing. Perhaps this is the missing element we needed to succeed.
All right. I will push off the Duke's request for a few more days. If the 4 of you can set out and bring back something that can help us gain understanding of what is happening out there, then I will allow the ministry to take over this issue once again.
What sort of
Otherwise,
proof are you looking for?
something that can confirm what you say. Something from there that operates as proof that there is something bigger that we don't know. Once upon a time, we could use visions. We could use the eyes of another. Ever since we learned that magic can dissuade the eyes of another, that it can bend and twist what another one sees, we've learned we cannot trust it, especially when it comes to Feyan magic. It has the ability to plant memories in you that weren't there before. Visions of things that may never have occurred.
Yes, that is, to my understanding, what is believed to have been happened to Baru, correct?
It is what it is written in the reports.
Yes.
What I would suggest is you continue with what your party's previous mission was, as it was explained to me. Go back in there, locate this Baru person, bring him back. Simply bringing him back and watching the forest continue to reach out will prove he is not in control of this. And we should be able to get him to admit what is going on in there. If we can get words from the horse's mouth, then we will have the answers we seek.
So just for our own sanity, if we were to say run back into this boogeyman, you wouldn't happen to have any helpful information that would allow us to deal with the situation.
If you claim there is a boogeyman that is there, understand that its greatest joy is in fear. It will be content with what it has done if it feels like it has scared you.
Interesting.
If you believe that there is a boogeyman that is there, I suggest you act like you're scared. Don't. The best advice I've ever heard is don't act like you have no fear. That is the greatest challenge to a boogeyman.
Well, the unfortunate thing is he also wanted us to leave the forest when we encountered him.
He wanted you to run scared. Right?
Yes, I guess
He
technically
specified leave the forest as well.
we technically never agreed that we wouldn't come back, but I don't know if you put it that way.
If he does specify this creature is very powerful, I don't think we could.
I'm not telling you to engage it if you don't feel like you can handle it. I'm literally telling you the opposite. I'm telling you to flee from it because it's what it wants.
To play along with
he lets us flee into the forest instead of out of it. But
he's not going to let you flee into the forest. He's going to tell you to flee out of the forest because that shows that you are the most afraid of him. Why would you flee into the domain that he controls? That's not fleeing. You don't flee into a problem. Who does that? No one. No one has ever fleed into a problem. They flee away from a problem.
Correct. And then if he catches us returning, is the problem I'm saying.
Then you flee again and you hope that he doesn't catch you.
Those creatures aren't smart then, I guess.
Well,
He isn't smart. Boogeymen aren't smart.
They aren't? Oh.
No, they're not smart. They are self-interested.
That is
Listen,
more information than we have.
many smart people can be smart, but also make dumb decisions if they are self-interested enough.
Fair enough.
So we should play along with it if it does appear again.
Yes.
Good to know.
Stroke its ego, and that should be enough that it will leave you be. Unless you do something very specific to piss it off.
Look at Brianna, and that's all we're stroking. Wait, you're not Brianna. Never mind.
Oh, I'm confused.
Never mind. It was. I thought you were my old friend for a moment.
Yes, Elizabeth made the very egregious error of trying to confront it, and yes, that did not turn out well for her.
Let's not let her mistake be in vain. We learned of this now.
Thank you.
Very good. Good luck to the four of you. If I don't see you back here in 6 days, know the Duke is coming in.
Understood.
And you will relay this message to the ministry, yes?
I will. Well, you'll be meeting with Ninoslav one more time before you leave.
Ah, yes, we will
And you'll
pass the
get to
message
it.
along.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
And good day. All right.
Do they yell at you guys like that very often? That was kind of.
There was
I
no
don't-
yelling. It was a heated discussion.
That was very stern, but it wasn't yelling. Ninoslav has done that once or twice, but
It's almost
You
like
did the
somebody
wrong
brings
thing.
it out of the NPCs.
Yeah, Antaeus, you better keep in line next time.
I
Hmm.
I don't think that I've done anything, but I suppose it's possible.
That's what they all say. All right, are you all? I know we just met you both, but are you all ready to put your lives on the
will-
line?
I will need some time to prepare. Are there? Do you know of any druids around here? I need to speak with other druids.
Sounds like a knowledge local thing. I'm not too familiar with.
The druids don't typically live in the cities. The druids typically live in the forests. And from your visions, Gulran, you definitely know that there are no more druids of the southern forest. Maybe there are some druids to the northern woods.
There aren't any that live on the outskirts of the town, I'm assuming, or the outskirts of the city itself.
No, there aren't any. There aren't any druids of the grasslands. But the northern woods are a ways out. You know that there were druids of the northern woods, and there are druids of the inner woods. But they are some travel to get to either way.
Unfortunately, Niev, I don't think we have the time to find your druidic friends with this timeline imposed to us. What did you need their help with?
Well, aside from wanting their perspective on what's going on in the forest, I normally traveled with a wolf named Akalia. And that is a big part of how I was able to fight and contribute to my party. And so I was hoping to find perhaps an animal companion.
Not fun.
Well, what? I didn't hear what you said.
Neither did I.
I just said, can we not find that in town somewhere?
Yes, maybe Ninoslav said he was getting a new license. Maybe they have something that can help you in the meantime. Maybe nothing as spectacular, but.
And then secondly, I need some new clothes. I need some new
Yeah,
gear.
I'm sorry to tell you, but I don't know how they did things in Fuchsia, wherever you're from, but this is life or death we're in. We don't have time for new wardrobe change.
It's not about that. It's about the fact that apparently your friend Brianna liked to wear metal.
Metal.
And as a druid, I cannot wear metal. So I have to
She does not have any non-metallic clothing?
Okay, if you want me to go in there without armor, I suppose. Are you the dead weight of your party?
Excuse me?
My professor, he's always talking about the dead weight of the party. And I just wondered, are you like...
Young lady, this is far beyond the classroom. I don't know what you were taught. But I've seen more battles than you. I can't believe you. All right, you have a day to prepare. We can't spend more than that.
I wasn't asking for more than a day. I just would like to be prepared.
We definitely can't go traveling for your druids, but perhaps in town they can refit you with things that can suit your needs.
Probably for the best. I have spells that I need to, or chemical extracts that I need to prepare.
We can take the day for grieving and get ourselves settled on our goals and try to save the actual grieving for when we come back. We don't have time for proper grieving at the moment. Is this Ivy, you said your name was? Do you need preparations as well, or are you good to go?
Oh, I can always take more time for preparations.
All right.
Oh, do you like to plan things?
I love planning. Do you like planning?
I'm not so big of a planner, but we had this one guy when at my university. His name was Erasmus. He loved to plan things and write things down. Antaeus reminds me a little bit of him too, with the way he's always writing things down.
Erasmus?
Yeah.
Well, perhaps we should split up, get what we need, and meet back here tomorrow. But before we do so, I like this discussion of planning. What is your specialty of spells? Can we coordinate on these things, or what do you usually do in combat situations?
Well, normally I would send a Kalia in to fight for me, and stay back and support the party. I have various abilities. I can heal. I can cast healing spells. I can also entangle things like in vines and that kind of thing. I actually have a way of.
On that one, I'm not sure the vines will listen to you. It should be.
Are
I
they
wouldn't
different
count
from
on that.
the vines that are out there?
Does it summon your own
it's
vines? Or?
Well, what it does is it
Vines,
causes
that's not a-
grass and weeds and other plants to wrap around the creature. It can even make them sick.
I would just be careful with that one. The forest itself will be fighting us when we go through it.
Well, I have a spell that might help me to better understand what's going on in the forest. I could always, memorize that one.
If it involves communing with the plants, I would highly advise against it. I've tried it and I messed with my mind a bit. If it's more of your deity or something speaks to you of an answer, but if you're actually intruding in the creatures, I don't know if it's safe.
Oh, I'm a follower of Sashat, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why didn't you start off with that?
I think she did when we were in the temple, but...
Oh, I wasn't there. Excellent.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
You just upgraded yourself in this party. I'm a follower of Sashat as well.
Well, I like that. Perhaps I can come hear one of your sermons sometime.
Oh, have you heard of them? They're quite legendary.
I mean, you seem priestly, and I figured you probably give sermons. I haven't heard of you, sorry to say, but...
I'm surprised there wasn't even a course on me in your school. There's much they could learn from the mighty Gulran. All right, so it sounds like you're going to handle more controlling the battlefield, so I can help our Ivy. You said you get up in the creature's face and you fight head on. I guess I can assist you in this if that's your main thing.
Yes.
I can... All right. I can offer you... I think you're going to have to hold up the front line, and I can assist you. But I will keep you under Shashat's protection for as long as I can. And Antaeus and Niev, you will have to stay in the back and make sure you don't get hit by these things.
Yes.
I don't want to lose another... I don't want to lose you again to... Well, not you again, but...
Yes,
you're just very fragile. Just stay behind me.
I am very aware of my fragility.
I was more talking to Brianna, but
yes.
You do look rather fragile now that you bring it up.
Yes, it's
not as sturdy as a dwarf, that's for sure.
I mean, I'd say I have an average fragility, but yes, not the dwarven constitution, of course.
And speaking of Antaeus, do you have any? I know you're a man of the knowledges. Do you have any input on these? How we should conduct ourselves? You've seen us operate firsthand. I'm sure you've maybe put some things together that maybe you have any advice.
I know the shambling mounds are resistant against fire, which is something that I need to probably prepare for, just in case, considering how many we've ran into. But these blighted creatures, Steve, do I still have any of that blighted thing that the chunk that I was given?
Or you have a little bit of it left over.
I have a little bit of this sample if you need to see it, Niev. I don't know if that would be helpful to you or not, but I also, let me see. Let me roll through the Rolodex in my mind real quick. Try to remember what I can recall about the blight.
Perhaps since you're so book savvy, you should use this day to do some research if you can.
Yes, I will come back with comprehensive notes on them as well. Now, Ivy, how do you feel about enlarged person? Just curious.
You're muted, Ivy. You are a mime.
That's also
Speak.
Clicked my button and it didn't unmute. That might be okay. I would have to make sure that nothing goes weird being enlarged, but it doesn't do anything ill against my defenses.
Are you sure? I thought people who are bigger were a bigger target and easier to hit. Are you?
Yes, but I employ distractions most of the time. Preferably my distractions would be tanking some of the hits for me, but yes, if they're not working or I do not have the ability to create copies to distract or make myself harder to hit, then it would be a little unfortunate to be an easier target.
Well,
perfect. I will prepare that for tomorrow then. Nobody seems to need it last time, so I stopped preparing it, but I'll make sure to have it on hand just in case. Also have a little bit of healing, but sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I have a spell that can increase someone's strength if anybody.
Ooh, I would love that.
Oh, okay. I'll prepare that.
yes. I also have the ability to do that, but if you can handle that, I can switch around for something more productive.
Of course.
Excellent.
All right. You guys can all meet back up with Ninoslav. Niev, you will be given a writ for which to purchase things. It is a 500 gold writ. You said you're a druid, right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Well, so metal is out of the case for you, yes?
Yes. This Brianna person liked to wear like metal shirts, and I can't wear that.
How are you for wearing plants?
Plants are fine. Leather's fine. It's just metal is a no-go.
Well, I know a place where they could probably take care of at least some armor fit for you. What are you good with? Heavy or lighter? What's your wear?
Lighter.
Very well. They should have it. He'll slide you an address. It's run by an old former druid.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
He may be able to help you out with a few things. However, probably best that you not bring up anything druidic with him.
Oh, okay.
Very, very sour. He opposed the will of the council, and they did away with him.
Oh. What's his name?
He goes by the name of... They should make these names. It'd be a lot more efficient if I did this ahead of time when I know certain NPCs you're going to encounter. His name is Cibrian.
Cibrian. Okay.
Yes.
I will pay him a visit. I appreciate you anticipating that need. I was just telling my companions I'm more than happy to help with the current matter, but I just can't go into possible combat with a metal shirt.
It's my job to make sure you don't just leave here and die for no reason.
I appreciate that.
The rest of you, here's what we've learned from here. We do know that the woods are increasingly more dangerous. I believe you probably, if you mentioned the boogeyman, you probably got more info from Reginald. He is a man of much history. Many, many years ago, the city was plagued by a boogeyman. Deep in the historical records, it has largely been erased from time, and largely become the kind of story you tell your kids to get them to keep themselves in their bedrooms. But the boogeyman that haunted the town ate parents.
Like physically, as in like cannibalism?
Yes. He had a taste for those who were not afraid of him. And so the more stubborn or aggressive something was in telling him to leave, the more they would be, I guess, delicious to him.
Interesting. Is there any reason to believe that this would be related to the current problem, or?
Not likely. We had the remains of the boogeyman. He was eventually captured. There were stories and rumors for some time. The organization I work for, and the people that worked within it at that time, had worked to make sure that this problem was resolved quickly.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, it did cost a lot of lives, but it makes a wonderful story to tell your kids. Children, go to bed, or the boogeyman will eat you and your family.
And you said there are records on this, though?
Not that you would be able to find. Those
That's
records
fair.
are at this.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Those records are at this point sealed.
Ah, yes. Presumably redacted as well.
Yes. It is important that people not know that that is not just a bedtime story for your children to keep them at bay.
Yes, if the masses were to find out about something like that, it would presumably increase his power greatly.
Yes.
Sounds like a natural enemy of Shashat.
I would say a natural enemy of many things. A natural enemy of Anher as well. Natural enemy of Athir. And a powerful ally of Neosi.
All right, you're gonna have to give me a second while I go back to this screen here real quick.
All right, so Neosi is the god of some aspects of death. I need to make sure I'm stating this right, because sometimes I even get my own gods fucked up. And that's always
the
embarrassing.
other two are far more common, though, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so Neosi is the restful god of death. But Neosi is obviously someone who collects souls, collects the dead. And what better ally to one who collects the dead than one who makes people dead? There is a difference in many ways between Neosi and Ulaz. Neosi collects those who died in a relatively natural way. So Neosi collects people who have died either by challenging things they shouldn't have, or by, basically like anything that isn't just deliberately being betrayed or backstabbed or having your life stolen from you.
Yes. I'm assuming that Neosi and Delamrian aren't necessarily best buds, though.
No, Neosi and Delamrian do not go hand in hand with each other. Neosi believes that death is the final end for all things, and obviously Delamrian also believes that death is the final end really that death is
for the physical form,
the true beginning of all things.
Yeah. I'm assuming that they would be at odds as far as collecting souls and whatnot. 'Cause I'm assuming that those souls would go back into whatever creature the Delamrian would make them.
Yes.
Interesting. That's a name I haven't heard quite some time.
Can we take a short break? I'm getting a call. I need to make sure this isn't important.
Sounds